What's up, LEGO builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios. The clouds of war have darkened my LEGO world as human and machine forces clash. The latest robot assault is targeting a hidden underground HADF base containing dark pre-war secrets that must be protected at all costs. But unbeknownst to the humans, the Protectorate forces have been busy creating stealthy new assassin bots tasked with bringing down the base from the inside. This subterranean showdown could change the outcome of the war, so buckle up, don't forget to open fire on that like button, and let's get building. This will be the biggest mock I've attempted in months. It'll be good to flex the building muscles again so I don't forget what it's like to make something larger than an apartment building. Since this is supposed to be a mostly underground base, I'm going to start by building the core structure. I decided to make things easy on myself and build the whole thing using 16 by 16 Technic bricks that can be divided later into separate rooms. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may recognize this crane as the base from the crane in my mech factory, and I've really enjoyed making little cranes lately. And this one will connect to a track running along the wall, allowing it to slide back and forth, controlled by a panel lower down on the wall. There's a warning zone below the crane that'll be marked out with hazard strips so people know to be alert, because the last thing I want is a workplace accident involving my dedicated servicemen and women.
Dude, take my picture!
The back of the garage is mostly empty, but will hold a tool rack and random pipes for the vibes. I've got wrenches, drills, oil cans, all the basics needed for fixing a war machine or souping up your forklift. There's a cupboard in the wall as well, but that's about as real as that long-distance girlfriend I had back in college. Because some of this will be underground, I wanted to add LEGO lights to better illuminate the lower levels and give off a spooky, secretive feeling. And these are really easy to integrate into a build. I'm going with green lights for now, but they can switch to red in case of emergency, and now I can properly light up the dark secrets hiding deep in this base. I had to put those lights in before proceeding because once the upper level's built, I can't pull up the floor anymore to access underneath. There's a delicate balance between overcrowding a mock and making it look like a model home, so I'm going to add some detailing along the walls, but keep most of the middle of the rooms empty so I can add minifigs, vehicles, and tables. This build is giving me a real dose of nostalgia. It feels like we're back in 2024 and I'm cranking out another clone base. I'm so glad that's over with. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars builds, but you can only build so many bases before they all start to look and feel the same. But Star Wars fans, fear not, I've got another LEGO Star Wars mock coming, and it's going to be straight green coconut nostalgia. Every good base builder knows you can't have one without a room full of computers and buttons for pushing, as well as a command table, needed for gatherings or important late night briefings and war plans, or the occasional hot dog party. Next to that is the armory. Now you're really feeling that clone base nostalgia. There's a weapon rack on one wall, along with other various gadgets and weapons. I've never been in an actual armory, but I like to imagine it's like a toy store for people who love to blow things up, and probably a lot more secure and organized than this one. Now I just need to add a few more odds and ends and throw out the trash, and the main level is ready for action, and it's time to descend into the depths and build the lower levels. Let's be honest, we humans like to work hard, but we also like to play hard, and the soldiers stationed here at Shepherd Base are no different. You can only polish so many guns and show your commanding officer how to log into his email so many times before the monotony gets to you. So on one end I'm making a rec room. It's nothing crazy, but a nice gaming setup as well as some exercise equipment to keep everyone feeling good. Drop a comment below with what rooms you would have added to this base if you were building it. Unfortunately, space is tight, so the TV and couch have to go in the same room as the treadmill and weights, but let's be real, one side is going to get used a lot more than the other. Just make sure no one pisses off this guy, or you might need a new controller and TV. On a more serious note, Shepherd Base is not your typical military installation. It's located underground to better protect the many vaults full of crazy tech and relics from previous conflicts. These are best kept away from prying eyes and enterprising individuals with sticky fingers. There's even rumors that a couple live bio nightmares are kept here in stasis, which is highly illegal, but it's not like that's going to end badly in any way. Plus, sometimes it's easy to break the rules when you're the one making them. Who's going to be the one to put the military in jail? This is one of the vault doors, and I wanted to make it look as cool as possible, so I used a large printed dish for the front and added a bunch of wheels to make a complicated looking opening mechanism. Though in reality, these vaults are controlled via computers electronically, so they're almost never opened manually. There's some tiling on the floor to designate walkways and show which way the vault doors open. That way no one parks their hot dog cart in the wrong spot. After that, I can just tile off the rest of the floor with gray and call it good. This base has to end somewhere, but I want to give the illusion that it keeps going, so on either end I placed a bunch of black pillars to represent darkened hallways leading to more rooms and elevators for navigating the base. That does it for the interior, but I still need to cover the main floor so I can add the roof later, and I'm keeping the middle open for now so I can better light and film the inside later, but so far things are looking good. Though the front door needs a little work. I want some real thick, heavy-duty gates, ones that look like they're sealing off a nuclear bunker, and I had these laying around, which after some modification will work great. They were actually used for a droid base that I built almost a year ago, and I just really liked the way they looked and felt like they'd come in handy later. There's a small ramp bridging the gap between the doors and the ground. That way trucks don't destroy their shocks driving in and out. The gateway assembles pretty easily because, like I said, most of it was already built. Pro tip for any mock builders out there, if you have a cool, generic, smallish build you like, keep it around. It might come in handy for your next project. I really like how this entrance is looking. I covered it with green plate and now it looks very secure. No one's getting out of here unless command says so. One of the downsides to building underground is you have to raise up the entirety of the mock to the same level unless you want the whole thing to end up looking like a ski slope. Luckily, I've done this so much that I've got more pillars and plate than Palpatine had Star Destroyers in his copy and paste armada. And my bricks are more effective as well. I'm channeling my inner Naboo right now and using my mighty collection of green brick to build a hill which will enclose the base and give it some much needed camouflage. Having the entrance and part of the base above ground instead of everything underneath is a lot easier to build, so I've come to love this hobbit hole technique for underground bases. A hollow hillside also allows for doors that can actually open and close and other fun features like automatic missile launchers. This base's best defense is that it's in the middle of nowhere and hardly anyone knows about it, but I wanted to add a couple more defenses just in case. 2 automatic missile pods will be installed on either side of the base, protecting it from incoming ships and infantry, but tanks and mechs will take some extra firepower. I'm building these on hinges made out of droid arms, that way they can actually pop up above ground to fire, and there's a dish on top to cover everything when it's not active. The roof is just a flat hilltop in the middle that was left open, and I added 2 panels that can be easily removed for lighting and visual purposes. The base is looking good, but these blocky hillsides and plain front yard is looking like a Minecraft server and needs some work. There are 2 minefields guarding either side of the doorway, which should hopefully channel incoming enemies into a kill zone in front of the doors. These aren't very effective out in the open like this, so it's time to turn to my age-old friend, Lego grass. I've been using grass to cover up mediocre mocks since before some of you even knew what Duplo was. It may be simple, but it's very effective for large mocks like this that have a lot of empty space. Unfortunately, I don't have enough to cover everything, so note to everyone inside the base, don't walk in the long grass. At last, that's all done and I can add the finishing touches as Shepard Base prepares for an invasion. Word has it the Protectorates have located Shepard Base and are planning a strike on the vaults deep beneath in its lower levels. Filled with pre-Biowar tech and weapons, it's a must-have for the Protectorate robots who hope to retrieve the contents of Vault 9, which they believe can turn the tide of the war. Base Command has squashed any rumors of such an incursion, but has ordered everyone to be alert for anything suspicious, and commandos have recently arrived for a quote-unquote training exercise, which doesn't look good. The HADF knows the Protectorates can't do a stealthy grab-and-go operation to be able to get away with the contents of Vault 9, so they will have to come in guns blazing. And Shepard Base is one tough nut to crack. So every entrance/access point has been fortified and new missile pods have been added for extra security. But every nut has a seam, and this one is in the form of drainage. A group of harvesters cuts their way through some external pipes and secures entry to the lower levels. Suddenly, alarms go off and emergency lights flick on, then completely shut down. After about 2 minutes of pitch black panic, the lights flicker on as backup power generators are activated, but much to Base Command's dismay, the long-range detection systems and comms are down. The attack has begun. Shortly after, mantas and drones carrying a Reaper mech come swooping in, activating only one of the missile pods thanks to Harvester sabotage. Chaos ensues as the HADF command tries to rally a defense to hold back the Protectorate strike. Armed with only infantry weapons and 1 SMM, they're seriously outgunned but put up a solid fight. That combined with the mines and missile turret soon have the ground in front of the base littered with broken machines. But just as things are looking up, a round from a railgun shot from an MC-34 Archer deployed 2 miles back as artillery support comes screaming in, decimating the gate and its remaining defenders, allowing Sentinel robots to begin flooding into Shepard Base. All is quiet, except for the occasional burst of gunfire and chatter of the Sentinels. Of the entire Protectorate force sent in, only 3 remain. The commando team was stationed at the vault doors as a last line of defense and nearly proved to be too much, but alas, today will hold no victories for the HADF. The code is applied and pressure locks go off with a hiss while massive steel bolts shoot back into the released position and the vault door slowly, silently swings open to a pitch black room. The Sentinels proceed to call in the transport and evac. But as they do, 2 slitted red eyes appear in the black, and a growl somewhere between a giant beast and a tank engine firing up reverberates through the chamber. The fight may be over for the HADF, but the Protectorates have just opened a door they would soon wish had stayed closed. Even though this build isn't part of the official Moenia Prime storyline, it was still fun to play around with the lore to create a standalone story, opening the door for more stuff like this in the future. As of right now, all Protectorate forces are still confined to the city, but if they were to break through and gain access to the underground trains, they could strike many HADF bases and even reach as far as the capital of humanity, which would make any previous battle look like a pillow fight. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to let me know what you think of this mock and story down below in the comments, and until next time, happy building.